Okay, just got back from a 3-week vacation with my wife and my daughter. It was our first vacation with a kid, which was a learning experience in and of itself. But throughout the vacation, I kept getting questions about how do you go on vacation and not ruin all of your progress? How do you go on vacation and enjoy it without worrying about getting fat and out of shape and blah, blah, blah. That's what this video is about. In this video, I'm gonna discuss how to go on vacation, how to enjoy it, and how to enjoy it without ruining all of your progress. All right, let's get into it.
Jordan, how's training today?
So, it was great. It was very tough. A lot of people have been asking, how do you get back into working out after a vacation? How do you do it? I just feel so unmotivated. And this train of thought never has made sense to me, right? Like, I'm back in jiu-jitsu, I'm wiped, I'm nowhere near as good as I was before I left. My conditioning is nowhere near as good as it was before I left. My strength is nowhere near as good as it was before I left. But the mindset of thinking like, oh, how do I start again? You walk through the fucking door and you just start where you are. Don't go at the same level of intensity as you did before vacation, especially if it's a really long layoff. But at one point in your life, you had never worked out before. At one point in your life, you had never really paid attention to your nutrition very much. And now after a week or two of vacation, you're thinking, well, how the fuck do I start? You walk through the fucking door and you get back right on track. You're not gonna be where you were before you left, but it's not gonna take that long to get back there either. So, training was great. It wasn't as good as I was before I left, but it was the best I had for today. And within a few weeks, I'll be right back where I was. All right, moving on to the whiteboard section of the video. If you're new here, first and foremost, welcome. Second, in a lot of my videos, I leave these blank spots, and that's because I want you to watch the whole video. Don't skip around, but here are gonna be the 5 most important things that are gonna help you in terms of how to go on vacation and enjoy it without gaining a lot of weight. So watch the whole way through. I'm gonna start up here and work my way down. Starting off with stupid shit. As I was preparing for this video, I wanted to see what the internet is saying about this topic. So I Googled search the exact title of this video, and I looked at a lot of articles and other YouTube videos, and I came across a lot of stupid shit, just terrible advice. One of them, and this is a true story. If you Google the exact title of this video and look at some of the articles, you're probably gonna find the one I'm talking about. They said in the article, one of the best pieces of advice this article could come up with was make sure you bring a lot of snacks with you. And they said healthy snacks. Now I have a lot of issues with that. I'm not gonna go into that right now, but bring a lot of healthy snacks. And they said, because when you're in Italy, you're on vacation in Italy, they said it's better for you to have a healthy snack than to grab the gelato. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid? You're traveling across the world to go to Italy, one of the most amazing places that have ever existed, with some of the best food that has ever existed, and you wanna get some fucking snacks to keep in your pocket to have that instead of this once-in-a-lifetime gelato? Get the fuck out of here. That is terrible advice. Now, it's one thing to say, enjoy some gelato. It's another thing to say, eat as much gelato as you possibly can until the point in which you throw up and then go back for more. 2 very different things. One thing you'll notice, and actually using the Italy example, whether you go to Italy or you go to France or you go basically anywhere in the world outside of the United States, portions are much smaller. And we're gonna talk about this a little bit later on, but getting a gelato in Italy is very different than getting an ice cream cone at Friendly's here in the United States. Much smaller portions, and even if it was the same size as the Friendly's cone, who gives a shit? You're in Italy on vacation. I don't want you carrying around these little sweaty, linty snacks in your pocket. Oh, God forbid I have this fucking gelato. Enjoy it. Have fun. And then when you get back from vacation, that's when you get back on track. And if you like those little sweaty, linty snacks, cool, keep them in your pocket and have them when you're here. When you're on vacation, that's horse shit. Enjoy the local cuisines, enjoy the other foods, enjoy what people are having. That's one of the most amazing parts of vacation, is eating the food of the culture in which you're visiting, meeting the people, speaking with them, see how they make it, see how it's prepared, see how they were brought up eating it, trying those foods. That's how we learn about different cultures. Food is not just fuel. It's not just fuel to fuel your body. It's part of what it is. It's not all it is, okay? One of the best things you can do when you can travel, learn about other cultures, is experience what they're eating. I don't care if you're traveling within the United States, if you're traveling outwards, if you're traveling internationally, I don't care. Part of learning about another culture, part of enjoying vacation is enjoying the foods that they have there. So fuck anybody who says keep those linty, sweaty snacks in your pockets. Enjoy the food with where you're going, especially if you're going to Italy and having some gelato. Now, how to diet on vacation. I get this all the time. And I'm a very simple answer for you. How to diet on vacation? You don't. You don't go on vacation and try to lose weight. Think about how stupid this sounds. Imagine you work for a company and you're about to go on vacation, and let's say you get 2 weeks of paid leave. Do you ask your boss before you go on vacation, like, hey, I know I'm going on this amazing vacation for 2 weeks and this is my time in which I shouldn't be working, but what should I be doing working while I'm on vacation? I hope not. Hopefully you take those 2 weeks and you spend it with yourself and with your family, with your loved ones, with whoever you're going with, and you don't work. You don't open your email. You don't open your inbox. You aren't looking at spreadsheets. You're not working because it's fucking vacation. And I bet if your boss called or emailed, you'd probably be a little peeved. You'd be like, this is my vacation. I'm not supposed to be working right now. Same thing with nutrition. When you go on vacation, you spend the vast majority of your life not in vacation. The vast majority of your life is spent working, going to school, providing for your family, whatever it is. This brief instances throughout the life in which you are blessed enough to go on vacation should not be time in which you're like, okay, how do I restrict myself further in order to lose weight, right? If you want to do that not during vacation, amazing, but don't wait for the brief instances of life in which you're supposed to be enjoying them to the fullest and taking some time away from stressors. Don't use that time as an opportunity to be like, okay, now I need to lose weight, because it's gonna add another stressor on top of your vacation. Not to mention, when you're 90 years old and you're looking back on your life, I guarantee you, you will not look back to your vacations and regret enjoying them. You will, however, look back and regret being like, why the fuck couldn't I go to Italy, or couldn't I go to Dubai, or go to Israel, or go to Hong Kong, or go to Seattle, wherever the fuck you're going? Why couldn't I go and just enjoy it? Why did I have to be so stressed about getting my workouts in, about eating perfectly, about losing another 4.5 pounds? Who gives a shit? You will regret doing that when you're 90, and fuck 90. I mean, if you're 28 now, or 37 now, or 64 now, whatever it is, if you're on vacation and then in 2 weeks you come back from vacation, you'll regret it then. You're not gonna be happy 2 weeks after vacation and say, oh shit, like, I'm really glad that I restricted myself and didn't have that Italian gelato. You'll be pissed that you didn't, because then when you get back, now you're back on track and now it's back to the grind, right? Take the time and enjoy it. Do not look at vacation as a time to diet. It's not. Before and after, sure, but vacation is vacation. Now, I wanna go over my most recent vacation, and from here, I'm gonna go into the top 5 things you can do to make sure you don't gain weight on vacation. Even if you do gain weight, not that big of a deal, but I'm gonna talk about all these 5 things that are gonna help you go on vacation, enjoy it without gaining weight, all right? First, my story. So my wife, our 8-month-old daughter, we went on our first ever vacation, all 3 of us. We live in Dallas, Texas. We flew from Dallas to Boston to go see my mom and family for Passover. And then from there, we stayed in Boston for about a week. Then we flew to Israel and we celebrated the rest of Passover with family in Israel. We were there for 2 weeks. And then from Israel, we flew to Atlanta for my wife's family and we hung out with them for a few days. So it was about a 3-week trip. And I'll start by saying this. I fully anticipated gaining weight. I expected I would probably gain between 4 to 8 pounds, especially in Israel, because when my family and I go to Israel, we eat a lot because we don't live there. It's only a couple weeks during the year, and we miss that food when we're not there, so I'm gonna get as much of it as I possibly can while I am there. Now, between Boston, Israel, and Atlanta, I ate a lot, and I felt mentally as though I had gained weight. When I came back from this vacation, I actually found out that my weight stayed exactly the same. I didn't gain any weight. My wife actually ended up losing about 1.5 pounds, which she was stoked about. But the reason that we were very excited about this is because we fully enjoyed ourselves. We didn't say no to anything, and we're gonna talk about that later on. There was never a food that we said, oh no, we can't have that. There was never an instance in which we said, oh no, we're trying to watch our figure, any of that. No, none of that. We never said, I'm trying to be in a calorie deficit on vacation. We enjoyed everything. We enjoyed cakes, we enjoyed ice creams, we enjoyed alcohol, we enjoyed everything. We enjoyed baklava, we enjoyed all the hummus, everything. Every single thing, we had all of it. How we ended up not gaining weight, I'll go over right here. But what I want to really clarify here is, number one, we didn't say no to anything. We enjoyed ourselves fully. And even if we did gain weight, this is the most important part, it wouldn't have been a big deal. This is the most important part. And I think having this mindset as the base actually allowed us to enjoy ourselves and then also not go overboard. Because when you're so focused on, I can't gain weight, I can't gain weight, I can't gain weight, number one, it's very difficult to enjoy anything because every bite you put in your mouth, there's gonna be guilt associated with it. And number two, with that guilt, then comes this fuck it mentality where as soon as you have one bite, you're like, well, I screwed up my progress anyway. So then you have a massive binge. And what might have went from like one normal sized gelato, which they actually have amazing gelato in Israel as well, you then end up getting 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, having way too much. And then, yeah, now you've actually done some damage and you're gonna gain some weight. I very much believe, and I've said this for years, if you don't gain a little bit of weight over vacation, probably wasn't that much fun of a vacation, right? Now, our vacation was amazing. We didn't gain weight. If I had to guess what happened is, probably gained maybe a couple pounds in Israel. By the time we got to Atlanta and we're back in America, we're really not focused. We're not away anymore. We were with family at that point. So maybe lost a little bit over those last few days. So by the time we finally got back to Dallas, it looked like it was completely even. But either way, if you gain a few pounds over vacation, you just get right back on track when you come back. It's not a big deal. And not to mention, if you're on vacation for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the amount of body fat that you can physiologically add is minuscule. People think that they can add pounds and pounds and pounds of body fat. It is unbelievably difficult to do that. It is very challenging to do that. It's physiologically impossible to add multiple pounds of body fat. You might be able to add several pounds to the scale, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds to the scale, but the scale is not indicative of body fat gain. You might have gained weight because you're holding on to more water, because you had more salt, because you're more stressed. There are so many things that could go into, for example, not eating enough fiber, you're holding on to more poop, you have more poop stored up, you're gonna gain weight. The scale's gonna say that you gained weight. That's actually one of the things that I think happened. As soon as I got here, I got back on my fiber regimen, eating more fiber, cleaned me out, and I think that helped me immediately. But just because you gain weight on vacation is not a bad thing. I don't want you to think you should continue losing weight on vacation. I think an interesting mindset to play with is the idea of rather than trying to lose or trying not to gain, I think your goal should just be to enjoy yourself. Rather than making your goal on vacation about weight, make your goal about enjoyment. And when the goal is about enjoyment, nothing is off limits. And when nothing is off limits, you're far more under control. When things are off limits, then it becomes a very dangerous game of, well, did I screw up? And if I screwed up, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat an unbelievable amount. So with that being said, let's get into the 5 things that my wife and I did that helped us not gain weight and actually for my wife lose weight throughout this pretty intense vacation. The first one, and this is the most important by far, and I'm wondering how many of you are gonna be able to guess this, especially if you've watched this channel for a while. The most important thing was walking. We made this a very active vacation. And I'll put up a screenshot of my steps per day while we were on vacation. But as you can see, it was like usually between 18 to 20,000 steps at a minimum. Some days were a little bit lower, some days were a little bit higher, but generally speaking, about 18,000 steps a day as a minimum is what we did. And we just set aside time to go on walks every single day. Just us as a family. We went on walks, we enjoyed it, we'd stop to eat halfway through, then we'd walk back, and we would walk for several hours every single day. This is without question the most important thing that we could have done to help, number one, with our health and fitness, number two, prevent any excessive weight gain, and also to really help just enjoy it more and to more experience where we're going. I know this is a video about vacation, how to enjoy it without gaining weight, but we should also be talking about how to enjoy your vacation. And I know a lot of people who, when they travel, they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. They don't know how to enjoy it. I think one of the best things you can do when you travel is just go on walks. See the area. Try to see it as though you're a local. Go to the local coffee shops, go to the local laundromats, just walk around, meet people, talk to them, talk to the cab drivers, talk to the people who own the shops. This is, for me, part of the most fun parts about vacation is getting to know people who live in an entirely different culture. And so when the focus is taken away from just the food, and now the focus is on enjoying your vacation and meeting new people and having new experiences and staying active with your family, with your loved ones, with your friends, whoever you're with, now you can actually enjoy it without putting too much stress on yourself and without over-focusing on your weight, which it is very clear the more you focus on your weight, the harder it is to actually control and the harder it is to actually love yourself and have a good time. So number one, most important, walk, 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 get out. It's gonna help you a lot. Now, number two, I wrote big and then I left that blank there. Big meals, little to no snacks. Now, one of the things that is very unique about vacation is oftentimes, whether you're staying in an Airbnb or a hotel or whatever it is, you don't have access to the same frequency of snacks that you might have when you're at home and in your kitchen. In your kitchen, you probably have a pantry full of snacks that you've stocked up on over the time, whether it's chips, whether it's granola, whether it's, I don't know what the fuck you have, but you probably have a lot of snacks at home, and it's easier for you to just grab something, have a snack, grab something, have a snack, because you're bored, because you're walking through your kitchen, whatever. In Israel, and really throughout this entire vacation, we didn't have opportunities to snack because we were staying out of Airbnbs. We didn't go buy a bunch of snacks. But when we ate big. We had big meals. I'm gonna try and put up some videos, some clips here so you can see how big these meals were. And we left every plate completely empty. Not every plate, but the vast majority of plates, especially for the main meals. We'll get more into desserts later on, but for all the main meals, the plates were empty, and these were huge, huge meals. And I think this is one of the reasons why it was easy to feel like we were gaining weight, because these meals were fucking huge, but we were only having like 2 meals a day. And the rest of the time we were walking, and then occasionally we would go out and get a gelato or get some baklava with the family. But like, that was it. And a major, major, major difference between what we do in the United States, or really if you're just at home versus when you're traveling, is snacking all the time. I very much believe one of the major contributors to weight gain over time, just little bits like 5 pounds a year, 10 pounds a year, 15 pounds a year, which can really compound over the course of your life, just a little snacking. Whereas if you focus on big, hearty meals that really fill you up, rather than small snacks that never fill you up, you'll be able to enjoy more calories, really get full, and then snack less over time, which is gonna help you maintain a healthier body weight. So when you go on vacation, one of the things that we do is we have big meals and we enjoy the whole meal, but we're not snacking all throughout the day. Now for number 3, this one plays very well into number 2. In number 2, I said we ate everything on the plate, and then I briefly clarified and said, well, maybe not everything, I'll talk about desserts in a second. For number 3, what I wanna say is, just because you want to taste something doesn't mean you need to eat the entire thing. And for my wife and I specifically, this very much played out with desserts. So whether we were getting baklava or whether we were getting kanafe, which is my personal favorite dessert like in the world, we never felt the need to eat the entire thing. Sometimes there was just enough to have a few bites or a few tastes. There were other times, however, like our last day in Israel, we went to this amazing restaurant in Haifa called Shawatina, a really, really, really amazing Arabic restaurant. They have some of the best kanafe I've ever had. There, I ate all the kanafe, and not just my kanafe, but my wife's and also some of my other family as well. I ate everyone's kanafe there because like I just wanted to have all of it. But the vast majority of time when we were having dessert, we would have a small portion, and that was it. When we were drinking, we'd have a few glasses of wine. That was it. We didn't need to have the whole bottle or multiple bottles. We don't need to eat the entire thing of baklava. We don't need to eat the entire thing of gelato. We'd have a little bit. And this is something that I think is very important because it's not off limits. You're allowed to eat everything, but just keep in mind you don't need to eat the entire thing. And this is where a lot of people get this FOMO, this fear of missing out, especially when it comes to food, which I know when I travel, I want to try everything. I want to try everything. Like I am not picky. I want to try everything. I want to experience everything. But if you have this guilt of like, oh my God, I shouldn't be eating this, I shouldn't be eating that, it's either that or the other side, which is like, well, if I do eat it, then I need to eat the entire thing. These are two extremes that don't really play well together. I tend to be more in the middle where I'm like, I'll try everything, but I don't need to finish everything. And it might not seem like a lot, but the decision to have one piece of baklava versus like the entire thing of baklava is a difference of hundreds, if not thousands of calories, which can actually make a big difference over the long term if you're having it on a day-to-day basis over vacation. So feel free to try it, but also know you don't have to finish it. Now, number 4 is actually something that we touched on a little bit earlier, but I'm gonna say it again just because it's super, super important. Number 4 is nothing is off limits. There's nothing that you are not allowed to eat. As soon as you think, or as soon as you tell yourself, I'm not allowed to have that, that's all you're gonna think about. That's all you're gonna want. You're not gonna enjoy the vacation. Every time you're gonna be jealous that other people are having it, but for some reason you can't have it, even though you made that up, of course you can have it. So I want you to know everything is available. You can have whatever you want. You don't have to have it, but you're also allowed to have it. And also going back to number 3, you don't have to finish it. You can have a bite, enjoy it for what it is, and then move on. But nothing is off limits, because the more you make something off limits, the more likely you are to binge on it. Now, number 5, and I think probably the most important to understand, even if you do gain weight, who gives a shit? I've said it for years. If you don't gain weight on vacation, you probably didn't enjoy it as much as you could have. And even though I didn't gain weight on this vacation, I still ate a fuck ton. And the reality is the fear of gaining weight on vacation is far worse than if you actually do gain a little bit of weight over vacation. The fear of it ruins the vacation. You can't enjoy the vacation. You're stressed the whole time. And then when you get back, you regret not being able to enjoy yourself. Whereas if you just go, you enjoy yourself, you gain, God forbid, 5 pounds, 7 pounds, 10 pounds, like cool, it'll come off in a month. Just get back on track when you get back. This is that. You can't really overemphasize this. Like, this is so fucking important. If there's only one thing you get from this video, please let it be this. Even if you gain a little bit of weight over vacation, who gives a shit? It's a sign of a good vacation, well spent, in which you had some awesome food with people that you care about and people that are very important in your life, right? So please, who gives a shit if you gain a few pounds over vacation? It's not a big deal. You get right back on track, which also, for whatever it's worth, if you've watched my YouTube videos, which if you aren't subscribed yet, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I've spoken a lot about how I maintain my weight. A lot of people think of weight maintenance as just staying the exact same weight. Weight maintenance is not staying the exact same weight. Weight maintenance is a range, usually of somewhere between like 5 to 10 pounds. You could look at it more from a percentage basis, somewhere between like 2 to 3% of, staying within like 2 to 3% of your lowest weight could be weight maintenance, or the weight where you feel most comfortable. But generally for me, it's about 5 to 10 pounds, right? So if I am maintaining about 148 and I go on vacation, I get up to 158, it's 10 pounds. That's the top end of my maintenance range. Get back on track when I'm back from vacation and I lose that weight again. Not a big deal. Stop thinking about, oh my God, I can't add 1 pound or 2 pounds or 3 pounds. The only one who's gonna notice is you. No one else gives a shit, and you will regret not enjoying your vacation. So even if you gain weight, it doesn't matter. Just get back on track when you're back home. Okay, now I'm gonna give away 3 free month-long memberships in the Inner Circle. If you're new here, every single video, I pick 3 people who are subscribed to the channel, liked the previous video, and left a comment on the previous video to win a free month in the Inner Circle. So if you haven't done any of that yet, make sure you do on this video so you can be entered to win in subsequent videos. For now, I'm gonna announce the 3 people who won it this month, which is Payal Shah, Kathy Wareheim, and Anna Burson. All 3 of you win a free month in the Inner Circle. Congratulations. I left you instructions on how to get it in the comments, so make sure you take action on that. And now we're gonna get into an Instagram Q&A, but before we do, I wanna remind you, get on my email list. The link is in the description of this video. And you know what? For this video, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna pick 10 people who subscribe to my email list to win a free month in the Inner Circle, okay? So what I'll do is, if you're already subscribed to my email list, you're already entered to win, but if you're not on my email list, go in my description, click the link, sign up, put your name and email in, and I'm gonna pick 10 people to win a free month in the Inner Circle. I will email you individually if you won, so you'll know exactly how to take action on that and how to get the free month in the Inner Circle. But go right now, sign up, and now let's get into the Instagram Q&A. Okay, now, so usually I do a Q&A. Today I'm gonna do an overrated, underrated. So people submitted their questions or the topics they want me to discuss, whether I think it's overrated or underrated. This first one is from Jal Strom, and she said, light or fat-free foods that generally aren't supposed to be fat-free. So she wants to know if I think these are overrated or underrated. And I think it's a little bit of both. I'm going to explain why. I think that they are underrated from the perspective of they are inherently lower calorie, so you can eat more of them so that you can fill up more without eating as many calories, and you can enjoy greater quantities of it, which might be helpful if you want to lose weight. But I think they're overrated in many instances as well because, number one, a lot of people will get these foods out of a fear of thinking that fat is bad for you, and that's just patently false. You need to eat fat in order to survive. There are so many health benefits of eating fat. And also, and this is very, very important and often overlooked, if you're chronically eating diet foods, low fat, low calorie foods, there's actually a tremendous amount of, I can say at least anecdotal research to confirm that the more you're trying to diet and eat fewer calories, the hungrier you actually get. And I think a lot of this has to do with the psychology, but also the physiology of understanding fat is a very filling macronutrient. If you chronically avoid eating fat, you're actually going to be more and more hungry. So even though you might be able to have a larger quantity of this low fat or no fat type food, you'll actually end up being hungrier than if you had a smaller portion of a full fat option, because that fat does help fill you up and satiate you. So in some instances, it's definitely underrated. In other instances, I think it's overrated. I think by and large, for example, if I get Greek yogurt, I usually get Greek yogurt that's 0% fat because I like to eat larger portions of it, and I also know I'm gonna get fat elsewhere. So today, for example, I had Greek yogurt in the morning, 0% fat, it was great, but then right before we started filming this video, I had a big bowl of nuts and seeds. So I had pumpkin seeds, and I had almonds, and I had cashews, and I had pecans, I had a whole different bowl of nuts. Very, very high fat. So I know for me personally, I'm gonna get my fat elsewhere. So if you prefer to have low fat, no fat dairy options that you can have fat elsewhere, amazing. Just please don't avoid fat in your diet because it's incredibly important for your health. You need it in order to survive, and chronically avoiding it is probably gonna make you hungrier than if you don't have it at all. Okay, now this next question is from Rach.L, and she said, waiting to lose weight before beginning strength training. So she wants to know if I think that is overrated or underrated. It is one of the most overrated takes I've ever heard in my entire career in the fitness industry. There's no reason to wait to start strength training, ever. If you're considering it, which I hope everybody's considering it, start right now, start today. There's no reason to wait. And now, there are many ways I could go with this discussion, but something I want to talk about is the psychology aspect of long-term success. Why are some people more likely to quit and to fail and other people more likely to stick and succeed over the long term? And from a psychological perspective, it boils down to something called self-efficacy, which is a fancy way of essentially saying your belief in your own ability to succeed. Whenever anybody starts strength training, I've worked with thousands of people. I have never met anybody who started strength training and regretted it. I've never met anybody who started strength training and got less confident in themselves. Every single person who starts strength training, every single one, 100%, if they stick with it for at least 4 weeks, they're gonna get more confident. They're gonna have a higher belief in themselves because as they see themselves getting stronger, it's very motivating, it's inspiring, it's amazing to know, wow, I'm actually stronger than I thought I was and I can do this. And that bleeds over into every other area of your life, including weight loss. Now, there are tremendous amounts of physiological benefits and reasons why you should strength train to help you lose fat. But I don't even want to focus on that. I just want to focus on the behavioral aspect of you should start strength training right now because it's going to make you a more confident, more independent, stronger, literally and figuratively, person. I think society as a whole would be infinitely better if every single person strength trained. If it was a requirement for every single person to get up and strength train every single day, right? And we could talk about the programming issues with that and all that. I'm not trying to talk about that. I think everyone needs to strength train. I don't care if you are 200 pounds overweight. I don't care if you're struggling to gain weight. I don't care who you are, race, gender, religion. I don't care any of that. I don't care if you're 6 years old or 80 years old. We can find a form of strength training for you. And waiting for a certain period of your life in which you think, okay, well, now will be the perfect time is a fucking myth. There's never a perfect time. The only perfect time actually is right now. Start today. Delaying it to wait for something else is a terrible idea. The confidence you're gonna gain from strength training is one of the most important things you can do in your entire life. It's gonna be good for you, it's gonna be good for your family, for your friends, for your colleagues, for your community, for everyone. Because when you start strength training, you get stronger, literally and figuratively, you get more confident, you get more independent, and then with that confidence, you can help positively impact so many more people, including yourself. So waiting to start until you've lost weight is never mind overrated, it's just fucking stupid. Don't wait. Start today. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to win a free month in the Inner Circle, number one, sign up for my email list. The link is in the description. Number two, make sure you thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment because I also will pick new winners every single week for the Inner Circle. So sign up for my email list, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. And with that being said, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon.